So welcome everyone. Welcome to another day of Be Agile Scrum. We are heading in week 4 and still we are on Agile Scrum. We will be continuing from where we left off. What was the subject we were working on yesterday? Who can tell me? Who remember that? Anyone? What we were learning yesterday? Do you remember? No? Okay. So let me quickly tell you, we were working on sprint planning. We were going more in detail of it. Do you remember it now?
Yes, sprint
Yeah.
planning, agile
Yes,
cycle, then
Yeah, it was only
uh,
continuing. Yeah,
yeah,
we have not completed that yet, and we will be going more in depth of it. We will be looking how it will be structured more, what will be the scope of it, and um, whatever it takes, we will be digging it down today. So with this note, let's continue further. And before we start, let me quickly remind you about the quick code of honor. That's the guidelines for this entire track so that we don't miss it out. And I'm going to share it on the screen. You know that Agile is full of ceremonies and that demands you to show up live. Uh, It means that be on time, remain punctual, and highly committed. In case you are not practitioner of it, continue to consider the training itself as a part of project. And once you continue, okay.
the binder.
I guys, I'll request you one thing before I continue, that what you can do is that keep yourself unmuted. Uh, if you are willing to participate with me, that's number one. And in case you cannot by any chance participate and you want to participate just from where you are connecting inside other side, uh, then you can go on mute. So that's a simple request. So let's come back to our show up live, showing up live. Why we need to be on time, remain punctual, and highly committed? Because that's the demand of the corporate, that's the demand of the agile. And in case you are not practitioner of this, continue to consider this training itself as a project, and practicing it will help you to replicate this once you get place. And how you can bring in practice, for sure, considering training as a project. But it is also said that how you do anything is how you do everything. So you show up over here, you be on time. These are the few small elements that keep you primed for that. And the second one, that because you chose to learn and you became a student, but we want you to be the full stack student who does all the assignments, do self research and repeat what they learn. And while you do so, um, you know you hit the success, and it's quite easy to take the full responsibility of that. Continue to do so. But when you don't complete what you start, you may hit back to the failure as well. So you need to complete the full responsibility of that as well. Why? When you will embrace, then you can acknowledge, and when you can acknowledge, that is the time when you can accept, and when you can accept, you can go back and you may correct that. And that is the time when you can realize that failure was not a failure that became trail to the success, but it will also require a concrete mindset. The very first one is inspired from lean kaizen, that is continuous improvement, and that demands you to inculcate a learning mindset for continuous improvement. More learning minded you will become, you will find yourself growing more positively. More positive you will grow, you will find yourself growing more complaint free, in a way that you can perform even in a stringent timeline. And deliver even with a lack of resources. If you could do that, you will find yourself getting loaded in more gratitude that leads to the highest level of productivity, how I'll tell you. And the fifth one, if you have inculcated this mindset, remember, you need to start your day with the highest level of receptivity. And for that, I have encouraged and recommended everyone to join in the 30 days challenge. For you need to just send me 30 DC in DM, and you will get the link to participate in a on this 30 days challenge. This is just a recommendation, not the mandate. But yeah, please do that, because it has a positive impact in every single outcome of every single day that you decide to do. And I have seen the this positive impact, bringing the positive result in everyone's life, whoever are learning from me and they are doing it, including me myself. And the second one, um, because you are here to have a technical learning, and for any kind of such learning you must inculcate the golden quadrant of learning that comes in a four step. The very first one is declaration with the anchor, then take a deep dive into deep learning, and then draw from your memory after 24 hours using pen and paper, and recall from your memory and flaunt it back into the summary that could be less than 90 seconds and maximum up to 3 minutes, and continue to post into WhatsApp group and track your own journey from a novice to expert. That will be enough to help you to get amazed that how you have improved so far, and that will be the part of unsaid assignment as well. So let's continue with the step 1 and 2 that will uh, take you towards understanding the concept of today as well. So what we will do, we will anchor with the declaration. So what will be the anchor? Anchor and declaration, if you have no idea and you are first time listening to that, remember to listen to the day one's recording more in detail. So what will be anchor? I will just count 1, 2, 3 and clap. Just now what you heard is a self clap or a self high-fi or clap. So I will be counting 1, 2, 3 and you will be modeling that, and then I'll be reading what is selected over the screen. Can you all see the selected statement over the screen, everyone? Just
Yes.
unmute and say yes, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
So be ready to do it with me. 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. I'm a quick learner.
I'm a quick
I'm a quick
learner.
learner.
What others can learn and master,
What
What
others
others
can
can
learn
learn
and
and
master,
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 I too can do that.
I
I
too
too
can do
can
that.
do
do
that.
that. I too can do that.
One more time with me. 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. Because I'm a quick learner,
Because
Because
I'm a
I'm
quick
a
Because
quick
learner,
learner,
today's learning is going to be
today's
today's
learning is
learning is
going
going to be
to be
super duper easy to me.
super
super
duper easy to
easy
me.
to
me.
me.
Yes, it is going to be because you said so. That's number one. Number two, in case you still found it bit awkward, remember the sixth code of honor that says that be the giver, keeping a ego away on the path of learning that makes you more spiritually grounded on the path of growth. When I say spiritually grounded, it means your happiness level increases, and happiness is today's new productivity. That's the demand of the corporate. And once you are here, not just to learn, but to earn, and not just to earn, but earn more. And it is said that what you want more of, you must start giving away the portion of. And in case you are already earning, start giving away the 5% or 10% of your earning in the causes wherever you believe in. Or in case you are not earning today, can you have an intention that once you get place and start earning, you will start giving away 5% of 10% of your earning as well in the causes you believe in, which causes could be like feeding hungry children, donating into orphanages, or old age home, or even in churches, mosque, gurudwara, or temple. Why you need to give? Because it is said that what you give let you grow, what you receive you may survive. And I'm sure that you are not here mere for the survival but for the growth as well. And while you do so, remember to appreciate what you do, what others do for you. And when it doesn't follow that help you back, continue to do so, because it is anyway said that what you appreciate appreciates you back. And remember how we are going to remain connected. That is every Sunday for the technical session at 10 p.m. EST. Next Monday again, we will be meeting for the technical session at 10 p.m. EST. Tuesday, you must attend mandatorily the RRP session that enhances your visibility, credibility, and as well as marketability. Wednesday, you do the assignment from the learning of Sunday. And Thursday, again, you need to repeat the RRP session. Yes, you need to repeat it, because that is the gateway of your placement that enhances your visibility, credibility, and marketability. Friday, you do the assignment from the learning of Monday, and Saturday you can choose to relax, have a breather day, or do your own research work, or repeat what you have already learned, and or prepare any question that you want to answer on the next technical session that is on Sunday. With this note, we will continue from where we had left off. And yes, you answered me, and I got the answer as well. That where we had left off when we were talking about the sprint planning more in detail. Last time I remember that Prerna was taking the pictorial representation of Agile, where you understood who does what happens, what is the duration, and what is the input, output, and process. These entire thing you have understood. Today we will look at the scope part of it. Okay, so I hope you all can see my PowerPoint slide. Just say yes if you can see that now.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So it has been split into two parts. The part one is the scope. Uh, we will be learning the scope part first. I want someone to read this scope part for me. The first one, please go ahead.
The team selects which items from a prioritized list of ready product backlog items, usually expressed as user stories, they forecast they will be able to complete during the sprint. Here's a sample agenda for the first part of sprint planning. What is the goal for the sprint? Use this as a decision filter to determine which product backlog items to include in the sprint. What product backlog items are ready and contribute towards the sprint goal?
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out, Pallavi. So yes, the entire scope part is completely dependent upon the decision. You know that product backlog item when brought into the planning meeting, it is mostly the prioritized user story. Prioritize what, everyone?
User stories.
Yes, user story. And when I'm asking, I would be expecting answer from everyone. As I said earlier, that in case you are contributing at your home or from wherever you are connecting, please remain muted. In case you think that you can contribute over here in the class, you please remain unmuted. Okay, so I would see more of the mics going unmuted, so and then I can understand you are ready to contribute here. So thank you for your answer. Yes, you said it right. When we say product backlog, prioritize product backlog, which will be discussed in the sprint planning meeting, it means that these are the user stories. But do you know that there should be a method to write these user story? Do you have any idea? Who knows that there should be specific way to write these user stories? You know? Yeah.
Using use cases.
Yes.
Yes, so we will get to learn about it more when we will be finishing up the last, ceremony or last event. We are still on the first ceremony. Okay, so we will get to learn about that as well. When we say about the scope, here you should be knowing what should be the agenda. So in sprint goal, that comes up with the sprint outcome for sure, to which we call it as a, also we are very much clear. So as you hear here, as you understand here, that this will become the uh, decision filter, or so that we know what all be in the very first sprint we are going to include, and that these inclusion that has been decided as a part of filter that will be only defining your sprint goal. Okay, so this is the quick crux of this entire slide, and there are a few more pointer we need to know. I want four different people read the four different bullets for me, please.
Who is
Available for this sprint, identify any vacations, holidays, other activities that will impact everyone's availability during the sprint.
What is the team's capacity based on everyone's availability?
Mm-hmm.
What items will the team include on the sprint backlog based on the sprint goal and the team's capacity?
Mm-hmm.
How
Does
confident
the team feel that they will able to meet the sprint goal?
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you so much for reading this out. So yes, here 4 point defines very much, very clearly, that when you are planning any sprint planning meeting, you should be knowing. And when I say you should be knowing, do you have any idea who will be that first person who should know that what all people are available in our team?
Scrum Master?
Scrum Master.
Master.
Absolutely right. That's a brilliant answer. And he's the person who should be knowing and be on top of it about the vacations and holidays and any other activities that will impact that these resources. And who should be that person? Who should be knowing first, which is upcoming holidays, when the vacations is coming, who is going on holidays, leaves, and who is not really be available for the sprint planning meeting if we are going to decide on this day. Who should be knowing about these all things first?
Scrum Master.
Exactly, you're right. It should be Scrum Master only, because if he is not able to know, he will not be able to understand how to prioritize the entire sprint. How Because every single there are chances that every single user story will remain interdependent upon each other, and based on that, the entire capacity of the team is decided, and that capacity will decide the entire sprint goal, which will be also called as sprint what?
Backlog.
What it
Backlog.
sprint backlog. Yes, yes, you are absolutely right. So it is not about what sprint outcome is coming, sprint goal is appearing. Top of that is that it should be discussed in a so much simple manner, so that the entire team will feel very, very confident that okay, anyway they will be able to do that. And that can only happen if it has been simplified in a very easy manner. And when we say simplified in very easy manner, it means that nothing will remain complex when it will become the part of sprint planning meeting. It can only be remain complex when it has not been broken down into the smaller user stories. With me so far, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Just a second. Yeah. So now we need to continue to understand when we say that how it is structured. The first part, about the scope. Inside the scope, these all things will be considered. But let's understand how it should be planned, how we will plan the sprint planning. For that, you need to know more detail about it as a part of part 2. I want two different people to read out these 2 bullet points for me, please. Go ahead.
The team discusses in more detail
how they will deliver the selected product backlog items.
Second.
This may but does
but
not
does
have
not
to
have
include
to
identifying tasks for the project backlog item, whether there are any dependencies between the items, and signing up for the initial product backlog items that each team member works on.
Yeah. So as I was telling about it earlier, the example of complex and making it more simpler, I was giving, because if you can do that, you will understand that what exactly and how exactly it can be delivered. Because if you define what you need to deliver, and top of that, how how you are going to deliver, trust me, when you decide what you need to deliver and why you need to deliver, your how is going to be more easier. Okay. And that is the time you will be breaking down every single item of product backlog, turning user story, turning them into the task against each user story, so that you will be able to identify that what all the interdependent items are there, on which one, what all the activities would be there, on which you would require to be working upon. Now, for those specially, I'm going to give those specially who recently joined, I'll be giving you the one example, and I'll be completing that for you. Okay. I had started giving that example. So the whole idea is that this is the pictorial representation, what you are looking at it. Product owner, who will be responsible to identifying and planning the entire project release with the roadmap and defining the timelines. Defining what, everyone?
timelines.
Timeline of frequent product releases. Okay. So he will see, and in fact, you can see these are the pile of tickets. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
these are the product backlogs, okay, broken down requirement into the smaller tickets, and these will be pulled inside this meeting, which will be the sprint planning meeting, okay, and this sprint planning meeting will go up to 1 day. Up to how many days, everyone?
1 day.
1 day.
Entire day you consider that this sprint planning meeting will take. When I say 1 day, it means 6 to 8 hours. 6 to how many hours?
8 hours.
8 hours.
8 hours. So definitely it can go, and it will be facilitated by Scrum Master. Okay, the Scrum Master will be there, and entire development team will be sitting there. Okay, so what will happen? So what they have decided in the sprint planning, they might be discussing 10 items in the sprint planning, but they would agree that they don't want to discuss the entire 10 item, but they will be deploying, or they will be shipping only the 6 item. How many items?
6 items.
So it means that they can bring the 10 items into the sprint planning meeting, but not necessarily they need to work on all 10 items. They need to agree upon whatever the item, that agreeable number can be different what they have brought inside the sprint planning meeting. With me so far, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this 6 item will be shipped, because it has been discussed how they are going to deliver that. Okay. So in sprint planning meeting, when we have the sprint goal clear, sprint outcome clear, that is these 6 has to be shipped. What exactly happens when sprint planning meeting gives you the sprint goal or sprint outcome? You start every single day discussing about the implementation part. Okay, discussing more than a discussion, the implementation start. Coder will continue to code, designer will continue to design, architect will continue to integrate and make it more workable, and tester towards the end will continue to test. While everyone is doing these all activity, they will be meeting each day, every single day, for 15 minutes, as you know this already, and they will be discussing about 3 things, and these 3 things will be next state, last state, and bottleneck. What does it mean? Who can tell me? What do we mean by next state?
What they have done in the past 8 years,
Okay.
past 8 years, and what they will be doing on the current today.
Yeah,
and
that will be
what
next
is
state.
the bottleneck item?
Yeah, bottleneck will be the hindrance. Okay, thank you so much for answering that. Okay, yes, 8 hours. Next 8 hours last they have done, or they are going to do, or anything hindering. It is must to talk only about these. Let's not go into the detail and story of it, because men, or say that person, are story prone. They love the story, and they will start crafting that at the moment they sit, and they will start highlighting their achievement, or they are going to achieve. And when this happens, means if you are stick with the plan of 15 minutes discussion, if you can finish that as a future scrum master, you should be having the goal not to go for the 15 minutes. Then how much?
20 minutes.
Could you repeat? For
20 minutes. 20.
No, not 20 minutes. If you are not going to target to go for 15 minutes, what should be your goal? Because if you will target...
Understand that?
Exactly, that's the right answer. Because anyway, if you will plan for 15 minutes, that's quite easy to go up to 20 minutes. But if you target for 10 minutes, it's quite easy to stretch up to 15 minutes. Okay. So as a smart scrum master, target accordingly so that you stretch accordingly. With me so far, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So now one fine day, you will realize that every day we were discussing this, and we analyze, we design, we built, and the team has tested, and they identify it's ready to ready to be shipped, but let's identify and invite our customers so that they can review the entire work what they had done. And this is not for just a feedback, this is a kind of a celebration where you highlight what exactly you achieved and what you all needed to do to come over here. And this sprint review meeting can go anywhere up to 2 to 4 hours. How long it will go, sprint review meeting?
2 to 4 hours.
4 hours.
Okay, and there is a catch. There is a situation when it will go for 2 hours. There is a situation when it will go for 4 hours. Can you tell me the scenario? When do you think that it should likely to go up to 4 hours? What should be the criteria?
If there are any changes or if there are any hindrance in there.
Okay, anything else? Any other guesses that you think that if this is the scenario, it should go for 4 hours. If this is the scenario, this should go for 2 hours.
Maybe discussing on the prioritization of the user story.
Okay, what else? Any other guesses? So now I'll give you a hook or say one tip or one hint. So hint is that sprint planning meeting will go for 8 hours in case your sprint is of 4 weeks. Okay, if it is 4 long week, then your sprint planning will go for 8 hours. Now my question is that what do you think that in what condition sprint review will go for 4 hours?
If
Who
the
can
goal
tell?
is not achieved,
If the sprint duration is 4 weeks,
Yes, that's the answer. You are right. So if a sprint review is 4 weeks, then it is likely to go for 4 hours.
4
And
hours.
if it and in what condition it may go for 2 hours?
It's
Then
for
it's 2 weeks.
Just like that.
2 week.
That's right. You know this. Okay. And at the same time, sprint retrospective will go to 1 to 4 hours, not 3 hours, 1 to 4 hours. In what condition it will go for 4 hours?
If it's for 4 weeks.
And like
Oh,
4 weeks.
yeah, that's a
Yes,
4
if it
weeks.
is. And in what condition it will go for one hour?
If
2
it's
weeks.
for it's a smaller, if it's a smaller sprint. like
Yeah,
1
it's
week.
like 1 week. That's right. That's right. So sprint retrospective, as last time you said that it is made up of 2 words, retro and spect. So yes, you spect on retro, it means the past, and which the improvement action or any action that can be corrected further, so that you will incorporate into the next build. And once sprint review is done, your goal should be going back and deploy it, ship it towards customer. And while customers start working on it, that is the time when you can buy to do the retrospective. Okay, so I could not find time to go for my favorite example. We'll come back onto that. Now here you see, I think we had discussed this. We had discussed this framework. Now here in the sprint planning meeting, you see when you meet with the input, and these input are what? With what input we enter into the sprint planning meeting?
User stories,
Product backlog.
backlog.
Yes, absolutely
Backlog.
right. That is the input is product backlog, and we will have the output. What we will call it as?
Sprint backlog.
Goal, sprint goal.
Sprint backlog, sprint goal, sprint outcome. Yeah. And during process, input is clear, output is clear. Here in the sprint planning, you will decide what to be done, who will be doing, and how they will be doing. Is it clear what exactly what exactly happens in the sprint planning meeting, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's understand more in detail about the how. Okay. I want someone to read this how part for me.
The development team plans the work necessary to deliver the sprint goal. Ultimately, the resulting sprint plan in a negotiation between the development team and product owner based on value and effort.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So the whole idea is that negotiation happens over here. Okay. And you as a future product owner, you will be negotiating upon the value, upon the effort, what your development team will be putting up. So it is bound to happen. Understand that this will be negotiated between development team and product owner only when if a product owner sniffs that this is incorrect assessment of the time and work that you will be bringing on the table for the sprint planning meeting. So what exactly happens is over here that you are deciding your sprint goal and you will only incorporate, for development team that what is necessary to work upon. What is necessary to work upon? When I say, it means that prioritized item. What item?
Prioritize data.
Prioritized item. And now I want 3 different people to read the who part of for me, one by one.
You
You
cannot
you
do. Go ahead, please. You cannot do sprint planning without the product owner or the development team.
Mm-hmm.
The product owner defines the goal based on the value that they seek. The development team needs to understand how they can or cannot deliver that goal.
Mm-hmm.
if either is missing from this event, it makes planning the sprint almost impossible.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, you remember yesterday I was talking about the dominoes, okay? I was talking about identifying one thing. So, one thing also talks about this that uh, if you know what exactly to be done, it means at the same time you should be knowing what exactly not to do. Okay. So, if you will be doing everything, then you are doing nothing. Okay, that you should be very much clear. When we are talking about that, it means it means that here you now know that in the sprint planning meeting, this development team will be there, product owner will be there, a negotiation happens. At the same time, you understand that we need not to deliver the software to the customer, but we are delivering this first. What is that? Okay, what do you deliver first? What is this? What should be your
Value.
value?
Value.
Exactly. Value. We need to deliver the value first, and that should be our goal. How we are packaging this value through the goal or through the sprint goal, through the user stories, that should be very, very, very much clear to you all. And at the same time, you need to foresee any risk that is happening or that will be popping up, which will hinder the progress of these entire delivery of the sprint outcome or sprint goal. So that's the when it makes you sense and makes you evident that you need to identify what will make it happen and what will not make it happen. When you are very much clear about this part as well, what may stop it, that is the time you may get more clarity and you will have the different road to approach the same goal. With me so far, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
too when it is necessary. Thank you so much. So now understand the input. So you understand the how part, who will be doing these all. You need to also understand these input and output. I want 2 different people to read out. 2 different.
The
Great
inputs,
starting
a
point
great
for the
start.
sprint plan is the product backlog, as it provides a list of stuff that could potentially be part of the current sprint. The team should also look at the existing work done in the increment and have a view of capacity.
Yeah. So here you understand that starting point is very much clear. You know that in the list of product backlog, that will become the, for that, I don't know that where I have told you the abbreviation you need to remember, that is HWJF. What does it mean? Who remember that? HWJF in product
I
backlog.
rated,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
remember
Exactly.
JNF.
Highest rated job. first prioritized.
Yeah, absolutely right. Highest weightage of first. It means that is defining your priority, that what is immediately mandatory that you need to, you need to just kick it off. You need to just complete it. And then team is more aware that what exactly they need to finish it first, and that they will be taking towards the done. When we say done, it means that before done, it must be in progress. And when before it is in progress, it will be the part of the list where you know that what exactly need to be done. With me so far, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that will become, the entire thing will become the part of the input. I want someone to read the output for me, please.
The outputs, the most important outcome for the sprint planning meeting is that the team can describe the goal of the sprint and how they will start working towards that goal. This is made visible in the sprint backlog.
Yeah. Thank you so much for reading this out. So the entire output will be evident and visible in the sprint backlog, sprint goal itself, because they now by now understand that exactly how you will be proceeding, because maximum question will be asked here and maximum question will be answered here. And that's the reason so many discussion happens that goes under sprint planning meeting. It means that if it is getting immediately finished, it means that you are not going with the clarity. Are you clear with this? Yeah? Are you getting my point? If a sprint planning meeting, if it is 4 weeks long and it is getting over in a 1 hour, it means you have not collected enough data. If it means that you have not planned well in advance. As a future product owner or future Scrum Master, you should be keeping these in mind. Clear, everyone? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you see that this is board, okay? In board, you see there are various columns. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So initially, you will identify, imagine you are sprint 3. Okay. There are multiple sprints because this project cannot be finished just within a week's time. Okay. This is the 8 weeks long project. It means that 2 months long project itself. And you will identify that already in the third week, there are few things which has been finished, and that you can see just below his arms. And he could be the scrum master, and he will be pushing and moving the entire tickets. Can you all see these look like a ticket? And he is
Yep.
moving from left to right. Can you all see that? It is moving
Yes.
from left to right. So, and whatever requires to be discussed, that will be discussed in the sprint planning meeting. And when you are very much clear that what will be your sprint goal, you will start walking towards the daily execution. So let's understand more in detail. I want two different people to read this 2 bullet points for me, please. If you have not read yet, please go ahead.
Scrum Sprint is a repeatable, fixed time box during which a done product of the highest possible value is created. Sprint lies at the core of the sprint agile methodology and can be thought of as an event which wraps all other Scrum events like daily Scrum, Scrum review, and sprint retrospective.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. Now, yesterday only I told that not only the entire project will be time box. When I say time box, it means it will be confined in one timeline, one time duration. It means that it will have the start time and end time for sure. Not only for the event, but also every single activity. And your target has to be that when I was showing you this board, okay, this board. Everything will be moved from left to right, and right will be holding which status?
Mm,
Which
Done
status?
status.
It's done status.
Done.
Okay, exactly. So that should be your goal, that in every sprint, things will move towards the done. Allow me a moment. I'll be coming back. Yeah. So, and these event could be any of them, that be it daily scrum, scrum review, sprint retrospective, All these things has to be confined just within a timeline. It has to be also time box. If it is starting whatever time it is starting, before its end time, it has to be finished. Just now you heard that how long this your sprint review ceremony will go, how long retrospective meeting should go. So it should not cross more than that. So I want someone to read this second bullet point for me now.
A sprint is one time-boxed iteration of a continuous development cycle. Within a sprint, planned amount of work has to be completed by the team and made ready for review. Scrum projects are broken down into small and consistent time intervals referred to as a sprint. They can be as short as few days and generally are no longer than 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So 2 to 3 weeks are moderate. Okay, as short as few days, when I say, it means that it can be of 1 day as well. Okay, but maximum it will not go beyond 4 weeks in the Scrum practices. In what practices, everyone? Yeah, when I say Scrum practices, it means that it is following just Scrum process. And if something is making hybrid, and we will be following SAFe. SAFe is the skilled agile framework. This will change the entire game differently, and thereby it will also impact the time duration of the entire sprint too. So not necessarily it will be confined by the 3 to 4 weeks. So whatever the confinement would be, we will be talking about it later when it comes to sprint timeline. So, but understand, this has to be planned very well in advance along with the customer, and making sure that it has been broken down into the smaller consistent time. One thing should be a question that I am expecting from you to come, but it has not yet come, and that is, what if you have broken down multiple items? You agreed that you will be working on the 10 item or 6 item. What if some item we foresee that it is before foresee towards the end? So first, can it happen? The question is, can it happen that once everything is done, you realize something is not done? Can it happen?
Yes.
Yes, it
Yes.
can.
Yes.
And why? In what scenario it will happen?
Could be missing or forget something.
If it is missing, then who will be responsible for it?
Scrum Master.
Exactly, you're right. Scrum Master will be responsible.
Okay.
And why he will be responsible for that?
Because he did plan all the things. He did
Yeah.
release all the things.
Yeah, he will be looking at the dashboard all the time. And at the same time, whatever the stories and whatever the backlogs item are there into the board. And that board is the Kanban board where everything is evident, everything is visible. So when he will be more informed that things are being worked upon these items?
The daily stand.
Daily stand up, and there you foresee how things are moving, and there should you foresee and identify if you sniff that something is not going to get finished. Okay, so if you are very much on top of it and you are meeting for daily stand up, there should be not a point where you are not aware that something is going to not to be finished. In fact, you will do whatever it takes to confine them into the time box or timeline to make it happen before time. And that's the reason so far in the sprint practices, you will rarely find that something has not been finished. Why? Because it's daily update and daily sync up is getting updated in the stand-up call. With me so far, everyone, and making sense?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Is it making sense to all of you?
Yes.
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 And is it making sense to all of them if you are in mute as well? Is it
Yes.
making you? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I still see that mutes are not unmuted yet, but yeah, we'll continue this further and bring this. Yeah, I want someone to read this paragraph over this slide for me.
During a
Scrum.
sprint, there is a development team that comprises of cross-functional members who are capable of achieving the sprint goals. This could include software engineers, architects, programmers, analysis, system admins, QA experts, testers, UI designers, etc.
Yeah. So understand this team, which we are talking about every time, highly motivated team, self-organized team you have heard so far. You see here building a self-organizing team. This team is also known as this team. What it is, what do you read here?
Cross-functional.
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 Yeah, so these team members are cross-functional. When I say cross-functional member, it means that it comprises of all these leaders coming from different background. These leaders could be architect, programmers, analysts, system admin, Q expert, tester, UI designer, everyone from different functions together when they are meeting to achieve one goal, they will be called as cross-functional team. With me so far, everyone?
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
have a question
And
here.
yeah, go
Excuse
ahead.
me. Why do they gather and for what purpose? Are they going to do the same on the project or what?
Why are they gonna do what?
What they're going to do? Why they do gather? Why they say for what purpose? The project we are doing or they are sitting for something else?
Okay, who can answer this?
Okay.
In this training, what do you think they are doing?
They are the development team.
Okay, the entire development
Yeah.
team together, they are being called as development team. Okay, self-organizing team. Why they have gathered together in this picture?
They are helping each other in order to fix the four squares.
Yeah, so you see that everyone is holding what?
Puzzle.
So they're
Puzzle.
Their particular task of
Yeah,
piece.
yeah.
so they're
So
My question
Solve
is
the
analyzing
problem.
the requirement and they're just solving like
Solve
how
the problem.
and giving
yeah.
their input. So everyone is giving input and putting together like.
Yes, exactly. You are right. So everyone is there with own user stories, one zig puzzle, and together they are undergoing the entire sprint to fix that in sprint, and that can be fixed by undergoing various training, coaching, and mentoring by the product owner, senior business analyst, and Scrum Master. Together, they will be helping or preventing any hindrances if they come up, and finally towards the end they will be fixing the entire puzzle. These are just a quick indication, or say quick indicator or quick denotion that what exactly happens through the sprint. Okay, and especially in the sprint planning meeting, everyone has picked up their own puzzle that I'll be solving them, and together you will find in the sprint planning meeting every puzzle pieces will be integrated, and tomorrow it will be integrated together and may appear like this. So this is the denotion that every cross-functional team, coders, business analyst, tester, and architect will be working on their own part and will be fixing them together. With me so far, everyone?
yeah.
Yeah.
And great question. Thank you so much. And did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Prerna, if you're there, can you take the next slide, please, before the sprint? And is it
Yes,
before the sprint?
yes,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah,
Over to you.
yeah. From this slide, okay? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Give me a second. Yes. So let us learn what happens before sprint, okay? Before any particular event in sprint. So, I mean, there has been time that we are learning in detail about how Scrum planning happens, how all the events are occurring. So, to understand that, let us first learn how it all begins. Okay. So, can I request three different people to read out 3 points mentioned on the screen, please?
There is a sprint planning meeting. The length of the sprint planning meeting is proportional to the length of the sprint.
A 4-week sprint should be planned in no more than 8 hours. A 1-week sprint should be planned in no more than 2 hours.
This meeting determines what the goals are for that sprint. Based on the team velocity, a set of features are pulled from the top of the product backlog to the sprint backlog for the coming sprint.
Please check if you're talking on mute.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was talking on mute. Extremely sorry. Yeah. So yes, I was saying that yesterday we learned in detail about sprint planning meeting, and we also had mentioned that it is proportional to the length of the entire sprint. Like for example, if the sprint is of 1 week, then the meeting would be for per se 2 hours. If it is of 2 weeks, then it would be for 4 hours and so on and so forth, right? So we learned that because see, the more duration you have for your sprint, the more backlog items you'll be working on, the more delivery you have to do. That's why you will definitely require more time to plan. Okay, it's as simple. It's a direct maths. Second point is see, it's mentioned 4 week sprint should not be planned in no longer than 8 hours and stuff like that. 1 week sprints should not be more than 2 hours. We just learned that. So it's like 2, 4, 6, 8 kind of a pattern. See, basically why, you might ask, I was actually expecting this question, that why we have this constraint on timing. So many a times what happened in organization, too much time is being spent on the planning, which is not required at times. So you can actually have multiple days discussing over what we have to work on, what we need to plan, but that is not going to be effective, that is not going to be fruitful, if I have to call it that way, right? So that's why we have this specific duration dedicated as per the length of the sprint. So always remember this. Tomorrow, if you're working as a scrum master or team member, you would be aware that, okay, this is the duration, this is the time, I should not be spending more than this in any kind of, I would say, activities or any planning activity. Yeah. So third point is,
Can I ask
so
something?
yeah, go ahead.
Like it's written that the 1 week sprint should be planned in no more than 2 hours. So is it like it has to be 2 hours or it can be less? That's okay.
See, if it is less, that means it's superb that you're really using your time efficiently. But you know what? They are mentioning that at least give that much time for the sprint. So it's see, we discuss a scenario wherein we might take more time, but there can be a scenario when team can be hurriedly complete the discussion without getting into detail. So we don't even want that, right? We want, see, we are giving dedicated time allotment. So we should, as a team, everyone should share their views, understand what is going to happen, and implement their whatever thoughts they have or anything. So first of all, it should not be dragged, and second, please utilize the time. So it is less, and if you've completed your discussion, no worries, absolutely fine. If team members are comfortable, if everybody knows what they need to work on, well and good. But then that doesn't mean you don't have to, you're not even doing the bare minimum discussion or required discussion also. So along with the quantity of time, you also have to focus on the quality of discussions. Yeah, makes sense, everyone?
Yeah.
Any doubts further?
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think in professional setup, generally the discussions are stretched. I know as per at least our experience, yeah, they are like very less times are there when a meeting is quickly wrapped up, or it is quickly uh, you know kind of ended. But generally the scenario is like it will, because somebody will have their views, or sometimes some parties are missing and stuff like that. So it just suddenly gets stretched. So that's why we have the time limitation. And third point says is that in this planning before the sprint, we have to before we start the sprint, we have to decide on the sprint goal. That means in this particular duration of time, what kind of functionality, what kind of deliverables we have to give to the customer, or we have to be ready with after the sprint. So that is called as a sprint goal. So, I always give this example, like, for example, during your school days, you're preparing for your final exams or any major exams, and you always used to have a schedule. So, like, in this 2 days, I'll finish maybe like 4 days I'll finish a chapter, and next 4 days I'll finish another, not chapter, a subject or stuff like that. So what what outcome we used to have, that okay, after 2 weeks we should be good with the subjects, and we should start revision. So something like that. But what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve in this sprint? That needs to be mentioned and highlighted. Okay. So based on the team's velocity, set of features are pulled from the top of the product backlog to the sprint backlog for the coming sprint. So we all know that sprint backlog is a subset of product backlog. That means product backlog is a very big list of workable items or backlog items which needs to be worked upon. From that, we pull out sprint backlog and we implement that, or we try to work on that. So that all depends on the team's capacity, velocity. That means how much your team, how much the Scrum team is capable to work on, how much skilled they are, what is their availability. Like per se, imagine just hypothetical, okay, generally it won't happen typically. So hypothetically, imagine if you are one of the primary or main developer, or programmer might be on some planned leave, or there is some situation that he or she is facing, and you are aware of that, and that's why suffer for a major duration of the sprint, that person won't be available. See, all technicalities, please keep aside, that you can have a replacement, you can have other resource, all fine. I'm just giving an example for understanding. So, in that short scenario, because of the complexity of the project, you might not be able to replace that person, and then you have to like kind of go on for a particular days without that senior developer of yours. So you would definitely have a kind of less amount of development work compared to the other sprint. I'm just giving this hypothetical example for your understanding, like how you can plan in case per se, if your designer is not available for some time, or there is some emergency, whatnot. So that time you might focus less on the designing part for that sprint. So this is just an angle to how you plan sprint goal. Generally, in organization doesn't happen. We have to go as per the customer requirements or customer priority. But that in case actually there is some resource crunch, or there is some, I would say, constraint, then you can definitely mention and you can plan that. Make sense? Yes, no? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Gaurav, can we go to next slide, please? Yeah, again, a diagram that is very simple, easy to understand, and it is kind of summing up all the discussions that we had. So can we see this product backlog at the top? And from that,
Yes.
sorry, from that we are taking some user stories, we're taking some backlog items, and that is our sprint. From that we are taking some items and we are discussing them in the sprint planning meeting. Yeah. So sprint planning meeting, though we have shown only figures of 2 people, but then there are multiple depending on the team size and their involvement. Okay, so all are there. So on a desk sitting and discussing, so the discussion is happening. Next point is sprint backlog. So yes, once the sprint planning, a sprint meeting is completed, then we need to check on the sprint backlog. Like for example, if we had taken, I would say 10 requirements from your product backlog to complete. So are we able to complete all those 10 requirements in the sprint, or is there anything that is pending or anything that cannot be delivered? So basically taking a stock of your deliverables. Generally, it is expected to deliver whatever you had promised or you had customer had communicated, but then most of the times or many times it happens that due to some technical complexities or due to some dependencies of the code or of the logic, some of the functionality might not be able to come to get completed in this sprint, and that is also fine. You can communicate unless and until it is something that is too critical or stuff like that. So yes, this is a very quick and simple image of a sprint planning event or ceremony wherein we understand what all things happen. Yeah. So if anybody has any doubts, please ask, or else we can go to the next slide.
Can you please explain user story?
Yes, somebody asked something. Sorry, I couldn't get it.
Can you explain user story, please?
Yes, give me a second. Yes, so basically user stories are way the requirements are mentioned in Scrum. Okay, so so basically it's a requirement that is written in the form of a story. Story means in detail, and in Agile or in Scrum we call it as a user story. So in short, it's a user requirement given by the customer that is called as user story. Make sense? Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Yes. So let us actually study in detail what happens during this particular event. So, yeah, can I request some new people to read out the text, please? I mean, I know some of you are only active, but I would request people who are not active, please, unmute yourself and speak up. Yeah, you can read these 3 points mentioned during sprint and in daily stand-up in a sprint. Yeah, go ahead.
During sprint,
features
no
are
features
added.
are added and the sprint goals don't change. The only exception to this is if the team finishes a sprint early.
Okay, yeah, let's go point by point. So what it says is that no features are added, and and sprint goal doesn't change. So that this means that during the sprint, uh, basically you do not change what has been already planned or communicated. Okay, so basically it's like you have a set of activities to be done, you have a set of fixed requirements, and you have to stick to it. You don't you cannot go and add, update, or change things at the last moment. So we need to focus on what is already communicated and what needs to be completed. Only exception being in case if the if we complete our work beforehand, we complete our work prior to our delivery time. So, you have some spare time, and then in that case, yes, you can utilize this particular time for additional work. So, in short, it means please deliver what you had planned, and do not take up anything extra apart from what is being planned. But if you have time, if you have already completed or delivered what was planned, then you can look out for additional work. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, next point, please. Thank
The
you.
daily scrum, also known as the daily stand-up or daily scrum, during which team members synchronize effort. Should I
Okay.
read the next one? The daily scrum enables team members to ensure the right things are being worked on by the right people at the right time.
Absolutely right. Thank you for reading it out. So what it says is that daily scrum is also known as the stand-up meeting, during which team members synchronized effort. Now, this is very nicely put. Synchronized effort means that all the team members communicate their status or their work, like what are we working on, what is there that is complex, or we are not getting to, we're not able to crack that, or what we have completed so far in the last 8 hours. So all these I would say updates help the team members to ensure that everybody's on the same page. When I say everybody's on the same page, that means everybody knows what others are working on. Yeah. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And the next point is daily scrum enables team members to ensure the right things are being worked upon by the right people at the right time. Yeah. So this is a very logical and actually practical statement that says that we know that what everybody is working on, and we can cross check that, okay, that is done by right people at the right time. That means if you're allocated some work that needs to be completed in this sprint, so you are working on that as required. Yeah. This I mean, simple words, it means that you are we are ensuring that team members are working as per the plan. Yeah, makes sense. So tomorrow you guys have any project and you're working on that, so we need to ensure that you're working as per the assigned task. Okay, so assigned task at the assigned time. Yeah. Yeah, next any doubts in this, guys? Any particular doubt?
No.
No.
Okay, great. Yeah, Gaurav, can we move to the next slide, please? Yes. Now we are coming to sprint planning. Yeah. Can someone read out the a very big statement below the sprint planning, please?
Every morning
Every
of the
morning of the
sprint,
sprint,
go
the
ahead.
project team gets together for a short daily stand up meeting under 15 minutes. This meeting takes place at the same time every day and includes everyone on the project. Everyone stands up for the meeting to keep everyone focused and to keep the meeting short. Often a timer is set so that the meeting does not run long.
Yes.
Should I read the
Is
next
there
one?
anything that is difficult to understand, that we have mentioned that we have a daily dedicated time for the meeting. Everybody stands up for the meeting. There's a dedicated slot every day, and we have to follow that. And we need to ensure that everybody is present and they are standing during the meeting. Yes, makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy to understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Next sentence, please.
Each person on the team is tasked to answer 3 simple questions. Number 1, what did I do yesterday to help achieve that sprint goal? Second, what will I do today to achieve the sprint goal? And third, what if anything is impeding or blocking progress toward the sprint goal?
Yes. So basically, we call it as a rule of 8-8-8. So what did you work on 8 hours? Earlier 8 hours, that means earlier prior day. What are you planning to work in the next 8 hours? That is today. And in case if there are any impediments or any, I would say any complexities or any roadblocks, please share with the group. That is what. So somebody who might be aware of that, they can help you with resolving those issues. Make sense?
Yeah.
Easy to understand? So basically,
Yes.
we have kind of learned this earlier. We have discussed this quite a few times, and this is a regular, I would say, understanding. Okay, so please have this in your mind that why this is important, because as we learned in the earlier side, it enables you to have a synchronicity or synchronous understanding within your team. So it is very, very important to know what the team members are working on. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, can we go to next slide, please, Gaurav? Yes. So what happens during the Scrum meeting? Can we have three different people to read this out, please?
These three questions allow for complete transparency. Everyone on the team is in the loop, and the answers make people accountable for what they say they will deliver.
Yes. So basically, what we are looking at is we're looking at ownership. That when you are saying that I will complete this work, the onus is on you. You, as a responsible team member, will have to complete that work. So that's what it says, that the answers make people accountable for their work. So if you are saying that, okay, I will complete particular work, then, please focus and please complete that work. It is that important. Make sense? It's basically, responsibility driven, if I have to call it that way. If you're saying that, okay, I can complete some work, I can do this, then I think it's the best in everybody's interest that you work on it and you complete that. Yeah, make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Next statements, please.
The result of this meeting are typically shared with the client.
Yes. So, see what happens. Depends on team to team. Not every project. Sorry, give me a second. Let's. So sorry for that. See, in some of the team meetings or some of the projects, you actually provide the entire work status. Maybe on daily basis. Trust me, it's too difficult. So maybe on a weekly basis or stuff like that. But then your, I would say, client should be aware about what is happening in the project. Okay. So to give that understanding, this daily meetings update plays a very vital role. So that's why daily meetings are so important. So everybody knows what is happening in the meeting. Okay. Yeah. Next point.
The daily communication makes sure that if something is holding up the team, they can get a response quickly.
Yes. So basically what it means, something is troubling the team in, in their progress. If they are not able to resolve those issues, or if they are stuck with some problem, so better, highlight them in this forum and get those answers. See, as we always say, this is a team of highly motivated and highly expert people, and they are the best in their fields. Then definitely you will get appropriate answers. So focus on that. Mention that in the team that, okay, we are having, like any of the member can say, I have this doubt, or I'm not able to resolve this issue. And then, you are quite, I would say, you can be positive that you would get some answers which will help you to resolve the issue. So that's why this forum is so important. Yeah, makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So Gaurav, can we go to next slide, please? Okay, next point, please, guys. See, these are basically revision of what we learned yesterday or what we discussed yesterday. So we can, go. Yeah. Okay, now can you all see the diagram mentioned here? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for responses.
Hanji,
Okay.
Hanji.
So can someone read
Yeah.
the text mentioned first?
A sprint review meeting should be a natural result of the sprint involving the product owner, the Scrum team, the Scrum Master, management, customers, and developers from other projects.
Yes. So what it says is basically a sprint review meeting should be a natural outcome. So you did this sprint planning meeting, okay, first, and you planned the entire event. Then we, as a team, worked on the entire sprint, and then once we deliver, we've completed the work. We have to, present that work or give that work to the customer. So that is basically the review meeting. So that's why I said it's a natural outcome or is a natural result of the entire process. Okay. So what happens in this meeting that everyone, starting from product owner till your developers, they all come in and they present the work. So herein you also will have your internal management, members or people who have an interest in your project or, who are the stakeholders. They can all be a part of this meeting. So always remember that. Yeah. So here, how the sprint review happens. Can you see feedback on the project, on the product mentioned at the top left side?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
can come. See, so we can actually assume that one person in a suit can be is represented as the client. Okay. So that feedback is there, and then feedback on the product from multiple people. Okay, multiple. I would say owners. That those can be other stakeholders. That can be your vendor, or that can be internal management, or it can be anyone who has an interest in your project. So they are also sharing their feedback. And from that feedback, that feedback is coming from the demo that is given by our team. So can we see different people with different hair and, different genders are mentioned on the top right corner. So that is
Yes.
basically our Scrum team. So they are giving the, I would say, demo or review to the entire, I would say, the stakeholder bunch, and then facilitator. So your Scrum master being the overall facilitator, along with the product owner most of the times, is there to facilitate this entire ceremony or entire event, which will ultimately result in the actual desired, I would say, outcome, that is customer and stakeholders review. So this is the way. So this is a very fun and easy to understand image wherein we see stakeholders, we see client, we see our development team along with the Scrum master. Yeah, so this is what actually, we try to visualize that with real life. That means we have a conference room and people are sitting and discussions are happening, and and customers come up with some doubts, and this is how it is taken forward. Yeah. Any doubts in this? I mean, just it's kind of a revision of what we've already learned so far. But in case if you feel that you have some doubt about any understanding, so please speak up. Yeah. Next point, please, Gaurav. Okay. Now, agenda for sprint review. Let us go it one by one. So, what the development team talks about, please read one point. It's very small point.
What went well?
Problem that arose.
How they
How
solve this
this
problem.
demonstrates completed work, product backlog items.
answer any question.
Product owner discuss a current snapshot of products backlog and roadmap.
Next.
Projects likely completion dates with
various completion rate or velocity assumptions.
So what it says is, first of all, development team being their review, they will highlight that what went well, what we have done, nicely, or what we could complete in this duration. That is being highlighted. Okay, so see, when we are giving any presentation or any review, we definitely highlight on the part that we are doing properly, and it's as simple as that. In your childhood, if your parents were going out and they had given you some task, then you would focus on something that you've done properly. Like if your mother had asked you to arrange your cupboard, and then once they're back, you would be like, hey, I did this, I did this so nicely. I'm so it is just like kind of showcasing your efforts and ultimately delivery, that you worked on this and you delivered it well. So that is what it is, focusing on the on the part where you completed that nicely, or you could achieve what was planned. First thing first. Second is problems that arise, then yes, we need to give them a glimpse of what issues we had faced, or what problems we had in the due course of work, and all that. We need to highlight that we came up, we did face certain situations, but then we completed the work and all that. So basically highlight what work, or what issues you had faced during the implementation. Okay, that's what it's saying. Next point is, we are saying that what issues we had and how we faced them. That okay, so whatever, we came up with the solution, or we implemented, or we kind of hired some additional help, or we kind of did research. So what all you might have done to achieve that you need to focus on. Okay. And next is demonstrate completed work and backlog items. So basically you are reviewing your work, you're focusing your work, and you are asking, or you are like showcasing is in a way, right, or presenting your work. So you are giving all the focus towards what you have completed, and then definitely once you do that, you're checking with them for any doubts they have, any any anything that they want to raise questions on. So it's basically like any review. And if you have noticed, while even taking session, we as trainers also keep asking you that, do you have any doubts, do you have anything to say on this, or do you need any further explanation? So all these things happen in real life also, and then we need to ensure that during these meetings we answer to their queries, we answer to their questions. Yeah, make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the next point from product owner point of view is discusses the current snapshot of the backlog and roadmap. So current snapshot means, see, they are saying snapshot. That means it's not gonna be a super in detailed discussion. There will be a very quick discussion on, okay, currently we are here as per development point of view, and this is the roadmap. That means today we are here and we are planning to achieve or go to this destination. So we are basically trying to showcase, trying to highlight that, okay, we till now we worked on these many activities, and in future we are trying to achieve this, and we are trying to complete these many activities. So all that discussion also happens. Okay, so where are we today as a team, and where are we planning to go in future? That discussion is that point is highlighted by the product owner. And next is, well, see, because project owner is in the authority, and he is in the capacity, and he is the right person to comment on these things. That's why these details are shared by him. So he or she, generally discusses a typical completion date. Typical completion date means, why it is not mentioned as completion date and typical completion date means, because in future, the timelines are always little, dicey in the sense, though we have a project plan in place, there can be a scenario, there can be some delays. Guys, please go on mute. There can be some delays and we are accounting for them. Okay. So that is why in case there are some delays, we are highlighting and we are saying that, okay, as per the current development speed or project or team strength, we are looking at completion by this date, by this particular date. Yeah, makes sense? Any doubts in this agenda for sprint review, guys? Any doubts? Yeah?
No.
If no, then I'll request Gaurav to move to the next slide, please. Yes, no? Perfect, perfect. So again, going further one by one, let's go point by point so we can, someone can read one point and I can explain and we can complete this. Yeah. First point, please.
Development team talks about the sprint.
Yes, so we've learned this. Yeah, let us go one by one so I can also explain as well. So development team discusses about their work, highlights what they, give me a second. Let me. I'm sorry, I don't know something, in the air it seems. So yes, a development team speaks about what they've completed. They highlight their work that we discussed. Next point.
Reviewing the goal for the sprint.
Yes. So what was planned and what we completed, that we are discussing. Okay, so that is the goal that we had planned and we could achieve that. So yes, that's a positive point we discussed. Next.
Demonstrating new features implemented during the sprint.
Sorry? Yeah. Demonstrating. So yeah, basically you're presenting all the features that you worked on during the sprint. So how they work, what all functionality you had achieved. So all that is being mentioned. Yeah. Next point.
Requesting feedback from the stakeholders.
Yes. So it's not only a presentation, you're there to know what they feel about your work. So that is also, you await for their feedback, which is mentioned correctly. Yes. Next point.
Discussing work not yet completed.
Discussing work not yet accomplished. So whatever work that has not been completed yet, that is also mentioned that, okay, we completed this goal, but we still have these many functionalities to work upon and stuff like that. Then yes, that discussion also happens. Next point.
Identifying risk and impediments.
Yes. So in case there are any risk, any doubts, any impediments, you discuss that as a team. So, so basically what we are working on, what we are planning to work on, and in case if there are any doubts, please speak up. So that kind of scenario, everybody is mentioning that what they work on, what are their, journey was like. Yeah. Next point.
Reviewing project increment objectives.
Yeah. So basically, project increment objective means going forward, like after completing this, what are the basically project activities or which are the backlog items that will be taken up. So we discussed the review those also, like, okay, we've completed this sprint, right? What's next? So that also is being I would say that has also been discussed. Yeah. Next point.
Looking ahead to the next sprint using the top lines for the product backlog.
Looking ahead to the next one using the top lines on the product backlog. That top lines from the product backlog means high priority items. Always remember. Okay, so you are focusing on high priority items from the product backlog, for the next sprint. So you're looking at the, I would say important task or important requirements to be worked upon in the coming or in the next sprint. So you're focusing on what has already been completed and what you need to work on in the next sprint. As simple as that. Yeah. Next point. I think we have completed. Yeah. Gaurav, can we move to next slide, please? I mean, this is just more or less revision of what we learned in last couple of days. Yeah. Okay. Again, a very easy to understand simple diagram where it says we have increment mentioned on the left hand side. We have the team members with the time 2 to 4 hours, depending on the size, depending on the size of the sprint. Like 1 week for 2 hours, 2 hours for 1 week, 4 hours for 2 weeks sprint, and stuff like that. And we have everyone like product owner. We have Scrum Master. We have entire team members and others, that is other stakeholders. And then what we focus on, done functionalities, that means completed functionalities. We focus on updated product backlog, that what all we have completed, those things we focus on. And then next sprint planning date. Okay, so in this review meeting, as the customer is also there, we highlight and we focus that okay, we've completed this much, and what is the next, when is the next time we are meeting for the upcoming sprint. So we highlight that as well. Okay. So meeting at the end of the sprint to check the increment. So basically for review of what work has been done, what has been completed, and also to ensure that what kind of work or which functionalities will be taken up in the upcoming sprint. Yes. Yeah. Gaurav, we can move to next slide. And I think we are almost past time. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think we can continue next time. So it's time we can just wrap it up. Yeah. And
okay, sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prerna. So guys, it's now time for a quick everyone's attendance. So I want each one of you go back into the WhatsApp group, and there you put down, mention that what exactly you feel like saying. Just type in your name, that your complete name, so that it will be quite easy for me to understand and mention your name in our attendance log. And mention what do you feel like saying, one word that you feel like saying. Let it come from everyone. And personally, I'm going to review as well. So write some, not the same repeated one, write something new. Would love to read something new. So with this note, we'll just
Gaurav, I only wanted
call
to
it
highlight
out
on this.
now the
Yeah,
session
sorry.
for all of you, and we'll talk to you again soon, and
Yeah,
expecting you
Gaurav.
somebody very, very soon. Thank you so much. So
Yes.
let your
Hello.
attendance
Hi, Gaurav. Sorry. Am I
comment
audible?
coming
I
up.
just wanted to
Thank you so much.
mention.
Bye-bye. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Hello.
Bye.
Hello.